Hi, Ryan. It's good to see you again. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
It's good to hear. So, I have your audiogram with me today that I'm going to go over with you, and then we can also talk about some strategies to make hearing a little bit easier for you. So, if you have any questions or you need me to slow down at all, just let me know. Does that sound good?
Okay, perfect, thank you.
Okay, let's get started. So first I'm going to talk about these two lines. This red line is representing your right ear, and this blue line is representing your left ear. So as you can
Okay.
see, they're slightly different. So there's going to be just a few minor changes in your left ear being slightly worse, but for the most part, they're pretty similar. So what you have is normal hearing up to 500 hertz, then a mild sloping to moderately severe hearing loss bilaterally. And so I'll explain what I mean by that. If you look on this side of the graph, you'll see the numbers increasing by tens, and that's
Okay.
going to be the decibels, which is also the volume. So as we go down, that's increasing the volume. And this top part is the frequency, which is also known as the pitch. So from about 250 to 500 hertz, you're going to be in a normal range of hearing, which is from 0 to 25. That's considered normal, so none of those sounds are going to be affected. Then we'll start to drop down a little bit. From 1000 to 3000 hertz, you start to experience a mild loss. And that just means that you're going to have to turn up the volume a little bit louder in order to hear those sounds.
Okay.
And for these sounds that I just talked about, the 250 to 500 hertz, those are going to be more lower frequency sounds that we use in speech, which are typically vowels. And those would be like ah, ah, those types of sounds. And then from 1000 to 3000, those are going to be some more consonants. So, like the g sound, the ch sound, those are going to be slightly harder to hear. And then at about 4000 hertz, it continues dropping. So in your right ear, that's going to be a moderate loss, and your left ear is going to be a moderately severe loss. So for those sounds and above, you're going to have to turn up the volume pretty loud in order to hear. And
Okay.
these sounds are also going to be more of your consonants, like the S sound, the T sound. Those are going to be a lot harder to hear. So, because you're getting all of the lower frequency input, but not the higher frequency input, it might be a lot harder to interpret speech because you're only getting some of that. What have you noticed is your most challenging situation with your hearing?
I've noticed when I go to restaurants, the background noise, I've had a lot of trouble with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some strategies that I would recommend for that are possibly if you know that you're going, you could make a reservation beforehand and just try to reserve a table that's away from all of the noise, like in a quieter part of the restaurant. Try to control
Okay.
your environment and just separate yourself from all of the noise. Another thing that you could do is use a lot of your visual cues. So, watching people's lips as they talk can be really helpful to interpret the speech. And have the person directly facing you, so the sound is coming directly at you. And you can also see their mouth movements a lot easier. Also, if you're ever having trouble interpreting, just always ask for clarification and let your
Okay.
communication partners know how they're doing. If they need to work on something a little bit better, don't be afraid to speak up about that. Any questions
Okay,
so far?
thank you. No, thank you.
Okay. And have you had any difficulties hearing the TV?
Yes, I've had to turn up the volume on the remote.
Okay.
Mul- Yeah.
Okay. So have you heard of the infrared headphones?
No, I have not.
Okay, so they're pretty cool. So what they do is because you have those lower frequency sounds, but not the higher frequencies, these headphones take those higher frequencies that you're hearing, and they turn them into lower frequency sounds so that you won't be blasting the volume on your headphones. It's all going to be in that same
Okay.
frequency, which is a lot
Okay.
better for your ears too. You're not further damaging them. And they're pretty inexpensive. You can get them anywhere. Like you can look them up on Amazon or go to Target or something. And yeah, you just plug them into the back of your TV and they have rechargeable batteries and they're pretty cool.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. And have you had any issues with the telephone as well, like hearing your ringer or hearing the person that you're talking to on the other side?
Yes, I've frequently had to ask people to speak up, or I've had to turn the volume up on my phone so I could hear people.
Yeah, that makes sense. Have you heard of the California Telephone Access Program?
No, I have not.
Okay, so if you have hearing loss or anybody that you know has hearing loss, you're eligible to receive a free telephone issued by the government. So that's pretty cool. And
Wow.
there's a bunch of different options. So I'd recommend scrolling through some of those to see what's out there. They have ones that have captions of what the person is saying, increased
Oh,
volume
wow.
ringer, and increased volume of the other person talking, and also visual alerts if you'd rather see a flashing light to indicate that somebody is calling instead of um, listening for the sound. So those are pretty cool. If you might be interested in that, you should take a look at some of those options. Did you have
Awesome.
any other concerns?
No, I don't, but thank you for the recommendations. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. And just to let you know, this is just a screening. It's not a full evaluation. So I will send you a referral for an audiologist so that we can get your full evaluation and talk about some future steps if you want to learn more about hearing aids. They can explain that.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming in again. It was good to see you.
You as well. Take care.